What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Josh here. I know it's been a while since I've done a review or any video, but today's video, I finally finished this monster, as y'all can see on the thumbnail and in the title. And I'm going to be reviewing my custom Amhuluk figure. Hopefully, I said his name right. Now, granted, Amhuluk was actually supposed to came out right after Tiamat. When I did the poll for Tiamat and Amhuluk and y'all voted for Tiamat, I was actually still working on Amhuluk. When I did both of them, I went on and did the bodies for them. Tiamat was just wrapped up in the wire. Amhuluk, I actually made the body part, not the head, just from the shoulders to just the feet, about right here of the feet, and none of this vines or trees were in there. It was just a solid body. But all this time, I've been actually working on Amhuluk, even through the other videos I've done since Tiamat. Even when I was working on Tiamat, I still did a little bit, but I was trying to do other things with him. As I was also trying to make it where I could rechange out the arms to give him his longer arms. Because he has the ability to, I think, stretch his arms out. I know he uses it against the opponent he fights in the comic, Godzilla Dominion. And that is Behemoth. And I was going off the size. So right now I'm going to go on and show the size since I already just said something about that. And right here I do have my custom Behemoth. I do have the official Behemoth figure from Playmates, but as we all know, they are a little bit smaller than the other figures, so he does not size well. But these two actually do size well, as I do have them looking eye to eye. They are about around the same size. But the only thing that gives Amhuluk his height is mostly like these tree parts that are growing out of his back. And he has more of like a hump back right here. Now, the weirdest thing is this monster right here. Gonna move Behemoth for a minute. But the weird thing about this monster is only the head is a living organism. Hopefully I said that word right. But that is the weirdest thing. Only the head and maybe, I think, the spinal cord and the blue veins are the only thing that's living. The rest of the body being from trees, roots, and vines are just those. He has like an ability to telekinesis. I think, hopefully I'm using that the right word for that, but to make up his body, and the blue veins or blue vines right here are what's holding it together. Now down here on the feet, I didn't do them the same color as the rest because I've looked at I looked through the comic book, I looked through some fan art and some concept art, and everything came up with the feet being just roots. So I decided to go off of that, and I've seen some pictures showing like mud and dirt around the feet, and then the roots were coming out, so I went with that one. Bottom of the feet just shows like more. I left this part more dirtier and or darker than the top because this is on the ground, showing that that's more. You're not gonna see it anyways, but it's more there. And it's lighter up top, because this part would be out in the sun or like being lifted up and stomped down and showing more than under here. That's why I left this part darker and this part lighter, showing the different concepts of the dirt. But on the back here, you got like this grayish trees type color going on. And up here on the top, I did the same thing, but gave it a little bit lighter look on it. Because this is up higher, it's always going to be in the sun, so I kind of figured that make it lighter. And some of the spots, like you can see, like right here, it got some lighter spots. I did do a black wash over the figure, and I did the mouth, eyes, and this little pink area. I'm not sure if these are like gills or his ears, but I forgot all about these parts when I did the head, so that's why these were just painted on. The eyes, I'm trying to think, are these eyes right here, these little ones? But they were painted on the big main eyes. I sculpted just like if the camera would focus. See if I can get it to focus a little bit better. But either way, the teeth, the main big teeth right here and the little teeth right here were sculpted. Instead, the bottom teeth, and right here on the tongue, I do have a bigger tooth right here, as you can see where my fingers point at. But behind there, these three teeth on this side and on the other side were just painted on. And the tip of the tongue, I forgot that he had a tooth, or yeah, a tooth on his tongue, so I painted that on there. Now, what took me the longest was when I first started doing Amhuluk, I was actually trying to make the feet out of like the clay. I was rolling, I was making fin, and they kept breaking, and some other stuff happened with that. That it was just a nightmare. So then I thought about it, and I went out and if y'all remember my magma turtle figure that I'd done, I had some of these not pine trees, coconut trees left over, and I took some of these right here and I just clipped off just the tips or somewhere in the middle as what I did, and I kind of just took these and made his feet. Now for these parts up here, the top part of his back, these trees, I used a an old pine tree thing that I had, and I kept looking at it thinking these look kind of like coral and everything. So I decided, you know what, let's see if any of these fit, and they were perfect. Once I clipped some of them off, I clipped off about middle way size, and some of the ones from the top, mostly this top row right here, or second row, got on there. But yeah, I'm glad it turned out. Now, like I just said, I was actually making all these by hand, and some of them turned out good, some of them turned out bad or too loose. So I went out and got this neat tool right here that all you do is put your clay inside and you push it right through, and you can get these with all these different head pieces. And I used it, and then I made where this whole table where I'm sitting on, I covered it with nothing. I had about 50 or close to 70 of these noodles laying around on my table, and that's what I used for this whole body. Is I have different sizes, as you can see. Like some of these I did use to do like the blue for the veins, and those were the smaller ones I used. The one that's on my tool now, the headpiece that's on here, I used to do these ones right here, the bigger ones. This one right here, I just took a big one, cut it, and then just roll it out to a little bit thinner and used it for the head. I'll move that a little bit out my way. But yes, everything was used by that. The fingers, I did that way because I'm not really good at sculpting fingers or making hands that well, so I at least tried to do this. And I think he came out okay with the hands. But the best thing that I can tell you, if you try to make yours, or if you make it anything else and you have like small pieces like this, put super glue on it. Is what I have kept happening was every time I would go near the arms that touched up some pieces, finger break, tooth broke, the tongue broke about 3 times, and I had to put it back on there. And I had to remake these little teeth right here, like so many times. And now I decided, you know what? Let's try and put some super glue on there. So I had to use that to get it back on there, anyways. So once they were on there, I took super glue and kind of went over it real lightly, and now they are a little bit stronger where they're not going to like chip off as soon as I touch it like this. Because that's what it was happening. As soon as I would go like that, it would just chip right off. Now I'm glad that it wasn't like that now. And these right here were really like folding over. This one is still doing it for some reason, but they all got a little bit of coat of super glue on them. Like right here, you see how this one's not really moving? Or back here will just move right here, but down the bottom and this one right here will not barely move. Some of them won't move unless I really force it, and I'm not trying to do that. But I just didn't want these to be like folded over and snapping. Well, they're not going to snap, just the clay that I got, that air dry clay that I used, the milliput, is what I use for the feet up here to hold these up and to do his tentacles right here on his head. I'm thinking these are tentacles because they do have like this suction cup piece right here. And I used it to do the teeth right here, and I'm thinking, I don't know if I used it for the tongue. I don't think I did the tongue with it. I think that was just with the regular oven baked clay. But yes, all the tentacles right here on the head to hold these in place and to do the feet. Hope I was getting a little off camera. To do the feet down the bottom and up where everything is that looks like it's brown right about here up the leg. It was all used by milliput. So it will hold, because you can't put this stuff in oven. So I had to use something that was durable but also air dry. That would give me plenty of time to push these into it. But yes, even the feet, I did use some super glue on them too to harden them up some. So they wouldn't, like, some of these did get folded upwards somehow. But that's okay because it made it look a little bit like it's walking. And it also looks like that because this side, you got this leg bent a little bit forwards. This leg is bent down. But when you look on this side, this leg doesn't, you don't see the knee down. You see this part like kind of like it's back further, and this leg is more upwards. So it's kind of like he's walking. But something did dawn on me just a few minutes ago, and I just noticed that the head is not really facing forwards. It's more to the side. And I did not notice that until just now. Or else I probably did notice it, but just didn't pay no attention to it. Alright, now we're going to talk about the color. Now, the blue is a mixture of a light blue and a dark blue that I used. Right here, I went through some like different color grays from a pavement up to a light blue gray. Same color that I did for the head before I added a little bit of light blue to it to give it that darker blue look. And inside the mouth, I went with pink, like a flesh tone pink in there. And then I went back and I looked back at the pictures and found out inside his mouth is actually a little bit lit up. So I used a little bit dark blue, or it's a light blue that I add a little bit of a black to it to darken it up. And then I used the same blue, but I added white to it to lighten it up to give it that glowing effect. Eyes, I used orange and yellow. Well, the orange is like a yellowish orange, but I just added a little bit of bright yellow to it to do the eyes. But then on these bigger eyes, I just took the bright yellow and just did a little circle on on the middle part to give it that glowing effect where it looks like it's like glowing, like in the pictures. But yeah, that's basically what I did. Oh yeah, for the feet, the brown I used a dark brown, and then I added after I did the main color, I went back, added some white to the brown to lighten it up, and did a dry brushing over the feet on top part to give it a little bit more lighter look. And then after I painted everything, I went back over all of it and did a black wash. And that's what gave me my like this look right here. But the blue was added last. That was the last thing was added was for the blue for the veins, so they will be lighter and a little bit lighter than the tree color. And I did do it on the bottom, as you can see under his neck. If I can get the show better, so I do have little lines going for the veins. I have it going behind between these two, and I got right here going above his head. And somehow everything's still kind of connected, but on the back here, as you can see, these were just painted on there. I think I said this already, but some of these, um, I did use the smaller noodles that I used to do the vine colors, like right here and right here. Some of them are just painted over, like right here, it's going over this one, under this one, over and back under to connect over here or over here. And the ones on the back were just kind of like painted over, then over here was painted over, under, under. And it's like kind of like all the pictures I've seen had it like the veins were going over and inside of it. So that's what I kind of did. Like right here, you can see it's coming up to the finger, then it's going this way under. It's under those. This one, it's above. Or that one's just showing it. This one's kind of going over and under a vein. But yeah, hopefully everybody likes how he turned out. I'm sorry that it took me so long to finish this monster or this titan. But for a size, like I did earlier, I did a size comparison with Behemoth. But I do also have my Godzilla, and he does kind of size good with him. Now, granted, this Godzilla figure is a little bit taller than what he should be, but I think that it works out okay because he was actually meant to be a lot larger than Behemoth and Amhuluk, because these two are meant to be about the same size at 350 feet. Well, that's Behemoth size. I think I saw somewhere where he is 350 to 355 or 360 in size, but because his body grows by the trees or whatever he controls to make up his body, so he could be as large as he wants or as small as he wants. But I think he just mostly stays around like this size for the head. So, but I do like how he turned out, and I'm glad he does fit with all my other customs. Because everyone else I did, to believe it or not, was actually meant to go in size with my custom Behemoth. Because he was one of the first titans I've custom made, I believe. But yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed the video. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see everybody next time.